On today's episode, we're going to take a look at one of the most important parts of a film's release, the marketing. Oftentimes, studios will create a marketing stunt to build up buzz around the film. It can be as lazy as parading a character from the film on countless late-night talk shows, or as complex and interesting as a multi-month alternate reality game. It's up to us to decide whether or not these marketing stunts are effective, whether they were a waste of everyone's time, and what we think could have been good marketing stunts for upcoming movies. Welcome back to the Behind the Screen podcast. I'm joined today by my good friend Nick today. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Gorian, it's good to be back. How are you?
Good, man. I'm pumped for today's episode. It's going to be really interesting.
Me too. I'm psyched, as the kids say.
Yeah, we are very psyched for today's episode, and it's all about marketing stunts. And a lot of people might not know this, but the budget for a film's promotion can sometimes be as much as the film cost to produce. We've all been bombarded before with advertisements on bus shelters and jumbotrons, but we don't really remember these films. Instead, we remember the films that took their marketing budget and decided to do something new or unique with it. We're going to take a look at some of these films and see which stunts were worth paying attention to, which you could skip, and some we think could work for upcoming films. And as always, we're going to start with a couple quick-fire examples.
Hit me, Gorian. I need it. I need it in my life.
So we have Sacha Baron Cohen crash the 2009 MTV Movie Awards by rappelling down from the ceiling and landing crotch first on Eminem. We've seen tons of Will Ferrell promotions as Ron Burgundy when Anchorman 2 was coming out. The Blair Witch publicity stunt where everyone thought that the people died in the actual film. We had the tiny Ant-Man trailers. Warner Brothers offered a reverse car wash where they would dirty up your car to make it look like it belongs in the Mad Max world. Tons of random Deadpool promotional material. And whenever there's like a sci-fi or like futuristic movie, you can be guaranteed that there's going to be some sort of website you can go onto where, you know, they emulate the big corporation from the film or TV show. It's so easy to make a website that's like www.wemadethealiens.com and tie it in with Prometheus or something.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what I love is like a good creative, clever marketing stunt. Like even the Mad Max reverse car wash, like that's so smart. I love that.
And it was so cool because they would emboss like the words, and like the words that you spell out were like the clean parts. So it was like a super dirty car and you drive around promoting the Mad Max release date.
Exactly.
Absolutely genius.
Yeah. Did they take their finger and write on your car like, please wash me, #Mad Max?
It was a bit more professional than that.
Oh,
but
okay.
Instead of wash me, they write watch me.
Watch me.
And something that I absolutely loved when I was a kid, we don't really cover any of these in today's episode, but I just want to mention it briefly, is back in the old days when there was a blockbuster film in like the year 2000, you can be guaranteed the amount of fast food promotions would be through the roof. Taco Bell would have an Armageddon Crunchwrap Supreme or something. And I always remember how funny those things were. The commercial would always like tie in a bit of the video and then show the food. And it was for everything. Every movie had this fast food tie-in.
Extra value meal, dino sizing. For just a little more, get dino-sized fries and a large drink in one of 6 free Jurassic Park collectibles.
Yeah, and cereal boxes too in the 80s. I mean, I wasn't around then, but like, it's a fun idea. I love it.
Basically, anywhere you can look at, they wanted to slap an advertisement on there.
Yeah.
We're going to look at some of these marketing stunts that maybe weren't worth it in the end. Sometimes you have an idea to market a film that you think is a good idea, but it turns out bad. And sometimes you have a bad idea that turns out worse. We're going to take a look at some films that attempted a marketing stunt that ended up blowing up in their face. Did these marketing stunts have an effect on the overall release of the film? We'll take a look. The first example here, we have the Aqua Team Hunger Force : movie film for theaters. Do you ever watch Aqua Team?
Wait a minute. Was this that cartoon with the meatball and then the soda can? No, the soda cup? You know what I'm talking about?
It wasn't a meatball. He is a meat wad.
He's a meat wad.
And Shake is a milkshake.
That's it. I had no idea they made a movie about this. That is hilarious.
I really like this TV show because basically every season they rebrand it as a completely different type of show for the last couple of years.
Right.
And I love Adult Swim. Adult Swim always has crazy cool marketing things. I mean, they basically have Carnival every year. It's kind of got like the Rick and Morty stuff mainly, but they have this Adult Swim Carnival that they put on where you can go and get tattoos. I mean, they had tattoos that were free to get as long as they were like Adult Swim characters.
Are you serious? I would love to get a tattoo of Pickle Rick like on my chest. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
So when the Aqua Team Hunger Force movie came out in 2007, they decided to market the film by planting these cool LED Moonanite light-up panels. And the Moonanites are kind of like the 2D bad guys. They just kind of show up in the cartoon and cause havoc. And they put up these magnetic panels all over the city of Boston that kind of look like light brights. And they would light up at night. And, you know, it kind of looks like a little Space Invader guy. And it looks really pretty cool.
Okay.
And what happened was that a person spotted these panels 2 weeks after they were put up. They had a crew of 2 people go put them up around the city, and the panels had exposed wires and batteries on it. And because it was daytime, they weren't programmed to be lit up yet. So a police call ended up bringing police cruisers, fire trucks, ambulances, and a bomb squad.
Wow, are you serious? Gorian, that's hilarious. Wow, talk about a good idea gone wrong. Like...
Exactly. I mean, when you look at these things, they really did look cool. I mean, I wanted one. And I'm sure, you know, people probably stole them and put them on their fridge. I mean, they weren't meant to be a permanent installation. They were magnetic. I'm sure they're going to take them down.
Right.
TV reporters were on the scene. There was news helicopters, the whole 9 yards. And the guy that planted the LED panels walked by the crowd and saw the bomb squad dealing with it.
No way.
He went home and emailed Interference Inc., who was the people that hired him to put on the stunt. And they, along with Turner Broadcasting, were basically like, don't say anything. We're going to get our team on this to like solve this. And the 2 of them ended up having to pay $2 million to both the Boston Police Department and the Department of Homeland Security.
No way. That's so insane. And I can't believe they got fined that much, too. But listen, could you imagine being that reporter on the scene being like, well, we're here reporting a bomb threat. And, oh, wait, we're just getting a call now. Nope, turns out this is a PR stunt for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where all publicity is good publicity. And
that's the thing.
Adult Swim really, they like doing this kind of outside the box stuff. I mean, they really are creatives at heart. So the fact that they wanted to have these people in 2007 kind of put up these cool little, you know, I was kind of thinking it's like a Blade Runner thing almost, where these cool neon signs lighting up all around the city.
Yeah.
And it was 2007, so there wasn't that much social media going on. They wanted more word of mouth recognition from this, which is a cool way to do it.
Right.
But maybe hide the batteries and wires next time.
Maybe there's a better way to do it.
So the next one on the list is a more recent example that we've all heard about, and it's the X-Men Apocalypse fiasco.
Oh my god. Help.
This is a strange one because it didn't start out as a marketing stunt. It just turned into one. And there's an infamous poster of Apocalypse grabbing Mystique by her throat and kind of like seizing her up in the air off the ground. And the poster's basically the bad guys choking one of the superheroes in the film.
Right.
Did you see any of these billboards? It was a couple of years ago. I saw a couple in Toronto.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I did. I can't visualize it right now, but I did see the movie. I unfortunately saw the movie.
That's more than I can say. And what ended up happening was there was a huge social media backlash against the billboard, raising concerns that they were using violent imagery against women to market the film. And Fox apologized, saying, in our enthusiasm to show the villainy of the character Apocalypse, we didn't immediately recognize the upsetting connotation of this image in print form. And some may think that this may have all been planned. I mean, whenever you hear one of these stories of like such a big amount of backlash, you hear stories that people say it was planned just so that they are brought into the spotlight again.
Yeah.
Seeing how negatively reviewed the film was after it came out, I don't think that they would have shot themselves in the foot this badly just for some publicity. And there have been cases where promotional materials had to have been removed because they were seemed too disturbing. I mean, another one that's good for Toronto, The Strain, had a poster of like a little wormy guy crawling out of a woman's eye.
Yeah. I remember this.
And they had to take those down because apparently children were getting scared by them when they were walking by bus stations.
Oh, that's terrifying. Those poor children.
We all remember there's like marketing material that like really scares you when you look at it, even though it's not showing anything wrong. And again, this is one of those examples where we might not ever know exactly what went on when this was happening. I mean, maybe someone shot their hand up in the boardroom meeting and we're like, hey, maybe have him choke a few more superheroes so we know he's the bad guy, but we also know not just this superhero is getting choked, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. There's always that one intern.
And that one intern, just leave the room.
Exactly.
Please leave the room.
They throw him out the window.
This one is just silly. We have Man of Steel. And Man of Steel is great because I think it still had those kind of weird fast food tie-ins.
All good, man.
The Super Bacon Thick Burger.
Where you get like, a gallon of soda that has like Lex Luthor on it or something like that.
Oh,
I never
man.
really understood the whole collectible soda things at theaters. I've
Yeah.
never once in my life bought the reusable.
Me neither. No, exactly same. And they have the little like action figures on top. I have friends who collect them religiously though, and I do not understand. No offense. But I do not understand.
Whenever I see one in someone's house, they always have like just one or two of them. And I'm like, huh. You really like, Snow
Yeah.
White and the Huntsman, huh? You had to get the cup for it.
And it's like,
okay.
when was the last time you drank out of that cup? 2 years ago? Oh, okay, yeah.
We're not here to talk about fast food. We're here to talk about how does Superman shave?
What?
And oftentimes, films will feature a product placement in return for some money to fund the film. Man of Steel's full of it.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Most of the time, the advertisement happens within the film, but sometimes companies try and trick you into like visiting a website and getting like secretly duped into being advertised to. And for Man of Steel, Warner Bros. Partnered up with Gillette, and the two created an ad campaign that revolves around how does Superman shave. And you would go to a website that had theories from people like Kevin Smith and Bill Nye about how Superman would theoretically shave his super strong facial hairs.
Oh, that's good. I wanted to clarify. How does Superman shave what exactly?
Well, here's the thing. It's already been shown in movies. He zips up his ray vision off a mirror and will just like shave his face. I mean, that just makes the most sense. I mean, how do you cut the strongest hair? With the strongest superpowers.
Exactly.
People found this campaign to be just so lame. I mean, when it's so unattached from the film universe. I mean, sure, how does Superman shave is okay for like a Seinfeld bit, but for a piece of promotion for the film, it really is just so unaware of who it's advertising to. Superman's a children's property, and while Man of Steel wasn't a children's film, you still would expect some sort of mass or more general, promotion rather than Gillette and Man of Steel. That's all you get.
Exactly. I mean, like, good spirit there, Gillette. But I don't know. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care is the exact phrasing for it. And I think that one of the worst parts is that when you do kind of force yourself to go onto these, corporate websites for the films, I recommend everyone go check out the Space Jam website while it's still up. It hasn't been touched since 1999, and it is glorious. Whereas these websites, you don't get anything plot-wise with the film. You don't get any crucial details or anything extra that might make watching the film a more enjoyable experience. It's just two separate ideas on a Venn diagram that never intersect.
Exactly. And the fact that the Space Jam website is still up and active is literally the best news I've heard all year.
They just released the poster for the new movie with LeBron James.
Ooh. Oh, I forgot that was happening. Oh, here we go.
Get in the jam.
Come on and slam.
The next one might rival Man of Steel in terms of lameness. How many Taken movies have you seen? One, two? Have you seen all three of them?
I've seen all 47, yeah.
And the failed TV show? Yeah, we were all caught up in the Taken universe.
Exactly.
And what does Liam Neeson have in those movies?
Are a very particular set of
A beard?
A particular set of skills. But also a beard. I don't even think he has a beard in some
you're
of
right.
them.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
So Liam Neeson has a very particular set of skills.
Yeah.
And for Taken 3, there was a contest with LinkedIn where people pitched their particular skills to a fictional account created for Liam Neeson's character. So the winner received a video endorsement to link to their LinkedIn from Liam Neeson's Taken character, where he's basically endorsing you as an employee for future employers.
But if you want to protect your data, connect with Casey Wiggins. I strongly recommend you follow my instructions to the letter.
Gorian, I don't know how else to describe this, but This might be the most boring PR stunt I've ever heard in my life. Wow, I'm actually utterly shocked at how stupid this is.
Oh my god, it's so lame.
I should work in marketing if it's that easy. Wow.
Oh, 100%.
Wait, question for you though, Gorian. So what's more lame? Is it the Superman shaving his face marketing stunt or this Liam Neeson LinkedIn thing?
You know what? I can see Superman, if he was real in that movie, maybe going to schools, and doing like a Superman tutorial with children where it's like, yeah, we have a cop shooting at me with a bullet. I show you guys how I shave. That could be interesting. I mean, exactly. Shazam ends with Superman in a high school. So maybe that's what was going to happen there.
Honestly.
But with this, it's so tone deaf with what Taken is. Taken's a franchise about taking 40 cuts to jump over a fence.
What's the matter, Danny? You never taken a shortcut before?
Yeah.
It's not about LinkedIn whatsoever.
No.
It just seems so lame, so tone deaf. I mean, I really don't have anything else to say about it other than the video's still up on LinkedIn and you can check it out if you want. We will go from a bad idea that's lame to a phenomenal idea that just didn't pay off.
Oh boy.
Have you seen Last Action Hero with my boy Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, boy. I have seen it and I love it. One of my favorites.
Fantastic film. People get killed by ice cream cones in that movie. I love it. To tie in with the film's release, Columbia Pictures decided to do something a little different to advertise the film. And the senior vice president of publicity and promotion said, "We are frankly looking for a piece of exposure that stands apart from the clutter. We could have bought more billboards, but you see those every day. This is an event picture, and event marketing is the way to get there." And their idea? Advertise on the side of an 1,800-pound rocket that was going into space.
Goran. Okay, polar opposite from Superman shaving. This is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. Wow.
They really thought that Last Action Hero was gonna be this like huge landmark movie, and there's even a number that you could call 1-900-9 rocket for about 2 weeks leading up to the launch. And you could send a recorded message to space for $3.50. The price of taking a bus, your voicemail goes up there with them. And in addition, you could also have a chance to meet Arnie, and you could win the opportunity to push the button that launches the rocket. Tight.
Gorian, all this sounds so cool. Wow.
But there's always a but.
Oh, no.
I don't know how much this is just for inflation. I'll put it on screen, but this cost $500,000, which kind of sounds like a steal. I mean, especially when you look at like some films have $200 million campaigns. $500,000 is like a drop in the bucket for them.
Yeah.
What ended up happening was that the rocket launch kept getting delayed more and more and more.
No.
And it ended up getting delayed to August, and the film was releasing in June. These execs thought that this was going to be the next franchise. They really thought that The Last Action Hero was going to be this, and I could 100% see what they were going for. The Last Action Hero is about a kid that jumps into an action movie on screen, and it kind of has to live in the action world and deal with the tropes and kind of use the tropes smartly to interact with everything. It's been done before with like horror movies really well, and the idea that you could have a whole universe of jumping into random films and play with the cliches, fantastic.
Exactly, brilliant. But seriously, this could have been the Marvel Cinematic Universe before the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm just saying. Had the potential.
100%. What ended up happening was the rocket got delayed. The film didn't really do well at the box office. It didn't do what they were expecting it to, and a Columbia executive said this when the film underperformed. He said, "It's like putting Howard the Duck on the side of your rocket."
No.
If only they knew how much we love Howard the Duck now, okay?
Oh my God. That's so unfortunate. I can't believe it. That's so sad. All that money, all that brilliance, wasted.
No more Mr. Nice Duck.
So do you think that something like this, like a rocket launch in the 90s, where you have on the side of it the name of the movie, do you think that's good promotional? I mean, back then there wasn't social media and stuff, so it's kind of like if you're local to the area or you can watch it on TV. I want to watch a rocket launch. I think those things are freaking cool to do, and I'd love to do that.
Same.
And the fact that you could have it tied in that I might press the button. Game on.
Exactly.
You know?
I would have so gone for this marketing campaign. But here's, I think, why it failed. It wasn't necessarily listen, the coolest part about this is the fact that, it's a rocket and your movie's, plastered on the side of it. That is cool. But the real breadwinner for the idea anyway, not in execution, is just the fact that it's never been done before. What other movie has done this? None.
That's the thing. It's these ideas that kind of really set yourself apart from the rest, where if we do it first, we'll get there ahead of everyone else. And I feel like it was maybe a thing in the 90s when like more of these rockets started going up, that maybe advertising was like a viable option on a lot of these. I mean, I don't really know if like a lot of people advertise inside these rockets, but I'm sure it's been brought up to them before, $500,000 to have that on the side. Nike, must be putting swooshes all over those rocket ships.
Oh, exactly. And on this vein, Gorian, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
When the time comes in the future, what do you think the first movie is going to be that gets advertised on the surface of the moon?
That's a fantastic question.
Oh, yeah, I know.
24-hour advertising. Well, I will say there is a law where you cannot own the moon and you can't do stuff like that to it. But if it was, I think it would have to be, some sort of Christopher Nolan experience where he takes you to the moon in the movie. Like, I 100% feel like that might be... and you know what? The great thing about the moon is it's got two sides. Advertise something on the back of it, You got Nolan on one side, and then you can get,
exactly
Ant-Man 7 on the other.
Yeah, the dark side of the moon's a lot cheaper.
Hey, cool! Dark side of the moon!
Last one for the not-so-good category is one of my favorite books and films. We have Fight Club. Fight Club was, from the ground up, just a battle with the studios. I mean, Chuck Palahniuk really didn't want to stray from his book, and neither did David Fincher. I mean, they were both very loyal to it, and executives just didn't get Fight Club. And when Fight Club finished editing, the studio realized that it wasn't doing too well in test screenings, and it performed best in front of teenagers. And they didn't even think that Brad Pitt could help sell the film, but they wanted all the marketing to be about Brad Pitt. And Fincher fought this because, spoiler alert, I'm not even going to spoil it, but Brad Pitt's not the main focus. No. And Fincher fought this, and they approached an advertising firm named Wieden & Kennedy to create a marketing plan. And they were the ones that proposed the infamous bar of pink soap with Fight Club in Boston as the main marketing image for the film.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And the Fox executives thought that it was a bad joke during the meeting. And obviously we know now that like that pink bar is everywhere. It's in every college dorm room. It's so infamous. It's more infamous than Brad Pitt and Edward Norton on the poster. I mean, when I think of that poster, that pink and green thing just shoots into my mind.
Exactly.
In addition to this, Fincher also released 2 teasers in the form of fake PSAs that would play in the theaters for you to turn off your phone and shut up in the theater. And the studio hated these.
This theater has been equipped with multiple emergency exits.
Please refrain from conversation during the future presentation.
Did you know that urine is sterile? You can drink it.
And they ended up spending $20 million to market the film by highlighting the film's fight scenes. Obviously, this isn't what the movie's about, despite it being called Fight Club and they have fights in the movie. If they marketed it this way, a lot of films these days, you'll watch a trailer and it's the complete opposite thing, where they'll even put parts in the trailer that don't end up in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
To trick you into going into seeing it.
It's the worst. That is one of my most hated things.
So when you do see these Fight Club trailers, you're being misled in the marketing, and it's really not the creators' fault. It's these executives and studios. And they even advertise during the World Wrestling Federation broadcasts. Come on.
You're preaching to the wrong audience there, I think. Like, I get it. In theory, it makes sense. But no, Fight Club is just so much deeper than that. It's not about the fighting, in my opinion. It is, but it's not.
And ironically, the studios wanted to promote the film initially as an art film because they didn't really understand it. So they just assumed if they promote it as an art film, it'll get the art film crowd. It's just insane what these studios thought. But taking a look at these 5 or 6 movies, what do you think is the most egregious one? Do we agree it's the Man of Steel?
In terms of the marketing campaign, listen, it's either that or Taken. I gotta say, it's a hard call.
I've scoured LinkedIn.
I'll take Man of Steel and you can take Taken.
Okay, that sounds good. Taken is taken.
Now we're going to take a look at some marketing stunts and campaigns for films that we think were successful in both drumming up excitement for the film as well as being a suitable stunt that makes sense contextually for the film. Here's one that I loved and took a bit of a risk, especially with what we're learning about all these executives and studios trying to force these companies to do. We have District 9. District 9 is a great example of how to advertise a film uniquely while not changing up how you advertise to people. And they decided to do your standard affair of advertisements. They had billboards, they had bus stop stations, they had bench ads, the classic spots. But what they did that was so different was that all of the advertisements were made to look like they were raising awareness for, or not raising awareness, but were for against alien rights. They had signs saying that you could get fined for picking up non-humans, and certain bus benches were for humans only.
Wow.
What's so brilliant about it is that it really tells you a lot about the film itself. It tells you that there's this population of non-humans that are apparently sitting on bus benches and asking for rides to places. And this really paints a picture for what the film's like in your head already. There's a number on the ads that you can call, which I'm sure when you call it, it leads to some sort of report line and a website that you can go to for more information. And what's so interesting is that there's absolutely no sign of the title anywhere of the film on the posters. The website says go to d9.com, and it must have been quite a conversation with the executives in charge to allow them to not only advertise the movie without any actors on the signs, but with no clear title anywhere on it either. I mean, Hollywood is like so strict with their enforcement of standards when it comes to advertising actors that you always see the posters where the names for the actors aren't above their heads. They're all switched around, and you end up having Morgan Freeman, above Luke Wilson or something.
Exactly. So annoying.
Yeah, and the reason behind this is that it indicates who gets top billing. Right. And same thing with the logic of how big someone is in a poster. The bigger their face appears on the poster, the higher up they are in the billing and the more they're getting paid. That's why Robert Downey Jr. is always massive on those posters.
Exactly.
It's just so crazy to see a campaign where they were like, nah. I mean, I'm sure they put up posters later on, but to have some of the actual advertising be so secretive, I think it's pretty sweet.
I gotta say, I'm just looking at the images now, but this is such a cool idea. You're totally right. There's no actors' names anywhere. It's mostly just that District 9 anti-alien logo. And again, most of these don't even say District 9 on it. It just says visit d9.com. This is so clever, and I can't believe they convinced the studios that this was a good idea, but I'm sure it worked.
The film did really well from what I recall, and everyone was talking about it. I mean, I think the film came out in 2009, and whatever social media there was back then, it was a buzz with people tweeting these and posting pictures, and I think that in the later films that he's made, they gave him maybe a little bit too much freedom.
Right.
And you can kind of see it biting him in the butt a bit with Elysium when they gave him a bit more higher actor. You have Matt Damon. You got to advertise Matt Damon. We're giving you Matt Damon, and he didn't want that. He just wanted to advertise his way. And what I think is so interesting is that District 9 alien, the little slash alien guy, is so synonymous with that film. It kind of has the Ghostbusters effect and the Ghostbusters 2 effect, where when you think of that movie, you think of the little ghost with the 2 or the ghost going through the sign.
Yeah.
Same with this one, where it's I remember you see that image everywhere in the movie too, so it kind of gets you ready for it.
Yeah, that's true. That's really interesting, actually. I like this one.
Plus, it's from a great film too, so it's always nice to see an interesting idea for an interesting film.
Exactly, yeah.
So the next one we have is Chronicle. And for some reason, found footage movies are ripe for marketing stunts. I think it's because they're usually so low budget to produce that they usually had a little bit more extra money to promote the film.
Right.
And the promotion for a found footage film can be as easy as, making a selfie and posting it somewhere. I mean, it's the idea of a found footage film is that these people are constantly filming and sharing things, so it would make sense for you to find more of the stuff that they're sharing. Chronicle did it a different way, and the plot behind Chronicle is bunch of teenagers touch a glowing rock they find, and they can all fly all of a sudden. Awesome movie, really unique with the found footage use, and it's like a pseudo superhero film. And to promote the film, they got people to create these remote-controlled planes that looked like 6-foot-tall humans, and they flew them around New York City, and it's very unsettling. It kind of looks like those old videos when people were getting into like VFX in the middle 2000s, where they would edit city footage with like an AT-AT or something like that, and it's kind of like fits in perfectly, where you kind of watch this and go, oh yeah, that's like a CG. Oh, that's real. Oh, that's like a. What is that? What's that thing flying around the city?
Interesting.
I mean, I can't imagine. It only flew for about 5 minutes, and the video went mega viral when it came out. News stations were talking about it and whatnot.
Wow.
But I'm more worried about who saw it in person. I think if I saw this in person, I would freak out.
Dude, same. This is one of those things that I actually would have loved to be around for in real life and see this, because it's just so cool. I'm looking at photos again here, and like, they look like people and they look like they're flying.
We always get the lamest promotion in Toronto, where it's like we get promotion at like Union Station for like The Walking Dead, and like each day it's like a hand where like a finger is being taken off till it's like one day away from the premiere, and I'm
It's like, oh, so cool.
yeah, this is great.
Thanks, guys.
But Chronicle, I think it's a great idea. The fact that you can emulate something from the movie. You don't see that too often, where, sure, Last Action Hero, it's a rocket, This makes sense. It's people flying around in the movie, so why can't we try and make that happen in real life? And even if you couldn't see it in real life, the videos of it are still there too. And I'm sure you can find videos of way back when of people seeing it and being like, whoa, what is that? What is that? Filming their own little reaction to it.
Yeah.
Couple more here. We got a big boy here. We got the Simpsons movie in 2007.
Oh, I love this movie.
The Simpsons have been on air for over 20 years at this point when the film came out.
Yeah.
It seemed like there's nothing you could do to elevate the hype for this film. Everyone wanted a Simpsons movie, and everyone was talking about it, and they were planning on seeing it. So what do you do to promote something that literally everyone's already excited for? They decided to do everything. The marketing for this film was absolutely massive, and just the amount of merchandising tie-ins is crazy. You're guaranteed to heard about some of these stunts that they pulled, and the most notable ones were they converted 12 7-Eleven locations into real-life Quickie Marts.
No way. That's so great. I love it.
You get Duff beer there, you could get squishies, and it looked awesome. I mean, they really put some time and effort into these, and I know the pop-up craze has been going on for a while, where you can go have coffee in the Friends shop, you can go have Seinfeld coffee, you can go to a bar that looks like Harry Potter for some reason.
Right, exactly.
But back in 2007, the idea to promote something by creating a real-life version of something from in the film or TV show, that was really cool. I mean, you can only really get that at Disneyland for like Disney properties that already exist.
Right. So like The Simpsons.
Yeah, exactly. So with Burger King, they had like a Simpsonizer website where you can make yourself a Simpson.
Oh, cool.
JetBlue was named the official airline of Springfield, along with one of its planes having "Woohoo JetBlue" on the side.
What?
They had a contest to find out which Springfield in the United States, I think there's 12 of them, was the real Springfield.
Wow.
They had custom van shoes designed featuring the characters, and it's not often that you get to see a push for a movie that's already so established. It's usually people blowing their money to try and get you to see a new property, so it's always a breath of fresh air to have a film that we're excited about coming and being able to enjoy all of its different takes on advertising. I mean, honestly, sometimes it's fun to be advertised to when it's something you're really excited about, and it can just help build the excitement.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you want to be a part of the experience, and especially like with the whole walk into Quickie Mart thing, like, hey, you're like in The Simpsons. How cool is that?
It really does take you there, because I think it's also most notable because The Simpsons, I don't have to say it, but it's an animated property.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're tying in animated real things into the real world, it's a little bit easier when it's like Friends and Seinfeld, because you have direct imagery of what it's supposed to look like. It's so weird that when you see these images of the Quickie Mart in these videos, it feels like a Quickie Mart. It really feels like a cartoon come to life.
Yeah.
And I think that this did nothing but help with the promotion of the movie. I mean, I saw it, you probably saw it, everyone saw it. And
yeah.
I have 2 copies on DVD for some reason. I don't know why I have 2 copies of it on DVD, but that's just how big it was, apparently.
Gorian, I think you need more. You got to pump those numbers up there, buddy.
I got to pump those numbers up.
Like,
three or four times, maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
We got a couple more. We got an older but more famous example, and this is Psycho. And we love talking about Psycho because it has so many firsts. And for the film, Hitchcock was extremely secretive about the plot. And despite the fact that Psycho is based on a book, he bought the rights to it and bought as many copies of the book to stop readers from learning about the twists. Could you imagine if someone did this with like Harry Potter or like Lord of the Rings or something today? Impossible, but
It cost him a lot of money. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Wow.
they do it these days, but cast members were sworn to secrecy and they didn't really know what they were about to film or what was going to happen before they filmed it. Happens quite often now to kind of keep secrets. I mean,
Right.
No one wants the film spoiled.
Oh, exactly.
The most extreme measure that Hitchcock put into place basically doubled as a marketing strategy, and it was that movie theaters, well, Hitchcock wanted movie theaters to forbid anyone from entering the theater after the film started. He had a card that was basically like, this film needs to be experienced fully in one sitting to be fully appreciated. It seems kind of a weird to have like such a strict rule, but movie theaters were like super relaxed back in the day, and people would show up to a movie halfway through and then just stay for half of the movie for the next showing to catch up on what they missed. They're like, I'll catch the second half and then I'll wait and then catch the first half. Like, Christopher Nolan's mind is blown right now with this.
Exactly. I gotta say really quick, like, the balls on Hitchcock, that is a big claim.
Big. And movie theaters, some didn't want to do this. I mean, they didn't want to. I mean, think about it. If I'm Hitchcock and I'm telling you can't let people in after the movie starts, that's lost sales.
Yeah.
That's people being turned away that would have been at the movie. But funny enough, what ended up happening was that someone were upset, but it made people want to see the film even more. I mean, keeping people away from something is a guaranteed way to make people want to see it. I know if I showed up late to this movie and they didn't let me in, I'd be like, I'm going to be early for the next showing, buddy. I got to see this movie, Yeah. I think that's a fantastic marketing stunt.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's brilliant.
To keep people out of a theater is so freaking interesting. I mean, it's the same thing with like a Baby Linda Radler. You take it away, they're going to want it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Brilliant reverse psychology.
But look what happens when I take it. Give me the ball. Give me the ball.
Moving on, we got Deadpool. I'm focusing on Deadpool 2 for this one little story they have. And Deadpool always had a knack for advertising to us in weird ways. I mean, even back at the very beginning, when the first Deadpool concept footage leaked, that itself felt like a marketing stunt. It felt like we were supposed to be watching this leaked footage on purpose to build hype for it.
Yeah.
And since then, we've seen a ton of advertisements ranging from like a 1 hour Christmas doo-doo log burning. There was an infamous video reveal that we were going to get an R-rated Deadpool movie rather than a PG one. That was very funny.
Yeah.
And for the second film's home release, a Blockbuster was opened up for 2 days in London, and you could bring your old Blockbuster card in return for a free copy of Deadpool 2. Now, I don't know if I would pony up a Blockbuster card because I think that's pretty cool if you still have one.
Yeah.
And it was also only a downloadable copy of Deadpool 2, but it came in a sweet little VHS clamshell case for it, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
And also, if you didn't happen to have a Blockbuster card, you could still line up and audition your X-Force superpower to get a free copy.
What? Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Yeah, again, I don't know if I'd give up my Blockbuster card. But
I'm
pretty smart.
holding on to it.
Yeah, that's going to be worth real money someday. Real money, I'm telling you.
And you can see here that it never ends with these marketing stunts. I mean, they happen before the film comes out. They happen during the film. And they happen when the film comes out on home video. I mean, the toughest part is reminding people that a film was in theaters and that you can watch it again on TV or like at home again. So these kind of things to help you remind you that these films are coming out, I like them. Kudos to them. Having these little pop-up locations, I think, is a really great way of selling the idea of the film again.
Exactly.
We're going to end on the biggest one of all, my favorite one of all of these, the big boy, Cloverfield.
Yeah.
I got to take a deep breath for this one because this is one of the most interesting and interactive marketing campaigns for a movie. And it was so cool that it's sprouted a new phrase, ARG, alternate reality game. You're looking for clues that lead you to sometimes real life locations to places to get potential further clues.
Okay.
let's just start at the very beginning of the campaign. While they were working on the visual effects for the film still, there was a teaser that was released into theaters that didn't even have a name attached to it. It was a very short teaser. The visual effects weren't even done. So like the Statue of Liberty head that rolls by looks super janky.
Oh.
And we hear someone say, "It's alive," which I remember I was living on those IMDb boards back in the day. People thought that he said, "It's a lion." And people, I swear to God, people thought it was a giant lion attacking for New York City. Not a lot of people, but some people genuinely thought he said, "It's a lion," instead of "It's alive."
Yeah.
Is it coming this way? I saw it. It's alive. It's huge.
We see the head roll by and we see the date 1/18/08. And this teaser was dropped in the middle of 2007. People speculated it was a new Godzilla movie, maybe a Voltron movie or something with a Cthulhu. People thought that because there was a bad robot logo, maybe it was a potential Lost movie. People ended up kind of like forcing the ARG to start. They found out that the website is 1-18-08.com.
Okay.
And photos started showing up on the website with time-stamped dates on them of New York City pre- and post-attack. You could click on the pictures and it would flip it over and have a little bit of drawing or some information on it. And one of the sad things about all this stuff is that it's really hard to go back and look at it because some websites just... they don't pay to keep the hosting up. So while the website domain exists, it'll just hot link you to like a Cloverfield page or something very lame. It doesn't have the actual stuff there. Then we have slusho.jp, and this is the website for the fictional Japanese drink that shows up in a number of Bad Robot productions. You see it in Star Trek, you see it all over the place. And one of the characters in the film, Rob, was moving to Japan, and to work with the company, you can see his brother wearing a Slusho shirt in the film. And on the Slusho website, you can read a story about the founder who was lost at sea looking for a deep sea ingredient. Ganu Yoshinda was this man's son and took over the Slusho company. And he's also the CEO of a parent company, Tagruato, which is a Japanese deep sea drilling oil firm. And you can find fake news reports on these sites of these activists attacking their oil rigs, and there's even like a 10-minute video of like a news segment of an apparent Cloverfield attack. You can see it's super grainy, it's super shaky, but this came out before the Cloverfield movie, and you could see the Cloverfield monster attacking something. This was mind-blowing that we didn't know if this was going to show up in the film when we were seeing this. We didn't know what exactly it was. I mean, we've never seen anything like this before, really. We had so much superfluous information being thrown at us.
Yeah.
There was tons of blogs and MySpace pages created by the characters in the film. And this might not seem like a lot saying this in 2 minutes, but all of this information was slowly trickled out over months. You know, a new photo here, a blog update there.
Interesting.
And the IMDb discussion boards for this film were absolutely insane. They were on fire. I was there basically daily. Tons of people were gathering clues and piecing this together. And this also led to a massive influx of like conspiracy theories where people were trying to find clues that weren't real. I mean, the ARG got so intense that people were looking for things that weren't there. And I think that is one of the greatest signs of a successful marketing campaign, where people are so hungry for these clues that they're looking for things that aren't there and formulating their own ideas. I mean, people were playing with a poster for the film in Photoshop, trying to decrease exposure, increase exposure. I think we see the outline of the monster here. No, this reveals the monster. You know, so many people trying to piece it together. And the buildup was just off the chain. Hollywood thinks that they know what people want to see, but do you know who really knows what moviegoers want to see? Us!
The moviegoers.
We're the ones watching these movies. So we're going to discuss some upcoming films and what we think they could do to set themselves apart and make their marketing campaigns maybe a bit more memorable.
I love it. Let's do it.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So one of the things I'm most excited for, I'm a huge fan of the franchise, No Time to Die, 007.
Oh,
yeah.
Very, because they do a lot of like, James Bond is like the rich people advertisers. I mean, whenever they advertise anything for those movies, it's always like Bugatti and like the nicest clothes, Hugo Boss.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what you're going to do with this.
Honestly, it's kind of stupid, but hear me out.
Hey, after today, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. They're probably going to listen to this podcast and be like, this man is a genius. Listen, what is the one thing that everybody wants to be?
James Bond?
Exactly. So why not start like a little spy academy, or like, I don't know, on the street, maybe teach people to be spies or something. Maybe bring Daniel Craig around as James Bond.
You know what could be really cool?
What?
Maybe, I mean, the plots of those movies are a little bit lost on me, but like maybe have like, maybe, I know James Bond isn't about grifters, but how cool would it be if like you go up to someone on the street and they're playing like the 3-card Monty game, you know, and you're playing, and it's like, and if you win, they turn it over and it's like a QR code, and you can take a picture of the QR code, and it's like, meet us here at X time, and you get like a clue to like the next part of the movie.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Here's one I got for a movie coming out.
Okay.
We got the third Jurassic World movie coming out, and you know, I hopefully it'll tie up the series. God knows what's gonna happen, but they're going to have to do quite the push to make people want to see this next movie. I mean, these movies always make gangbusters, but people haven't been the biggest fans of them. And I think this last one really left people wanting more. So I think for this next one, they're going to really have to do some sort of real life promotion to get people excited. And in the last film, the dinosaurs were released into the wild. I mean, they could go be free and snack on civilians and eat locally. And I think a cool promotional stunt would be to team up with like maybe local zoos and habitats in cities and create like fake escaped dinosaur paddocks. I mean, you don't even have to do it at the zoo. You could do it at like Union Station, and you have like the paddock from the first movie with like all like the cables frayed out, or like the thing where shooter, like that thing, you know, and have that set up somewhere. I'd get a picture in front of that. You have the InGen logo on there. Maybe like a Jeep. I think that's a great way to sell the movie.
Oh, exactly. That'd be so cool. I actually promise you I would go there specifically to just experience that. That's pretty neat.
So we looked at a lot of films today to try to go outside of the box when it comes to making the marketing for a film memorable. I mean, the toughest things about films are the marketing campaigns. I mean, that's one of the first things you forget about. And the fact that we were able to find some examples today that were able to withstand the test of time, even if they were kind of lame, still means that they were trying to do something outside of the norm to grab our attention. Even if it doesn't turn out good, it's better to try one of these marketing stunts than to just do the same old boring thing again. I mean, there's a reason why we're talking about these specific movies today. They really did try to do something different. Thanks so much for joining us again, Nick. Where can they find you?
Goran, pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. Myself, I am on the internet at Nick the Sound Grip. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, all those fun things. I also do a podcast called Did Somebody Say Movies, and you can find us at DSSM_podcast. So check it out. You might like it.
Awesome. Thanks again, man. I'm glad you and I were able to talk about some of these marketing stunts. I mean, it's pretty crazy to think that sometimes as much money goes into advertising the film as making the film itself. And some of these stunts that they pulled were so memorable, and sometimes for the wrong reasons, but we really can't get enough of these creative ways of marketing these films. I just can't decide what I'd rather want more, a Slue Show drink or a squishy.
All done. If you survive, please come again.
Thanks so much for checking out the podcast. Subscribe and leave a like, and let us know which marketing stunt you think stood out from the rest. Mine is without a doubt Cloverfield. Rest in peace, IMDb message boards.